Before getting to this review, I'd like to give another shout out to Matt Brunette, aka Emma, for his classic reviews on South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut and The Simpsons movie, as what as they share strong similarities. They help me influence me to work on my next movie review, which is the Bob's Burgers movie. Now, Bob's Burgers is another animated television show from Fox Studios that can be up there to the ranks of The Simpsons or Family Guy or that stuff. It's about this family known as the Belchers and their lives as they work around at this burger place in the coastal area. Before watching their movie on the big screen, I've watched a few of the episodes, and they were quite interesting to watch, especially with guest stars including like Jenny Slate, Bill Hader, and Jordan Peele. The best fact is that this movie, it's been a long time we've had an anime show based on a cartoon made specifically for an older audience besides children since the 27 The Simpsons movie. What do I think of it? Well, let's find out. In this story, the Belchers had to raise money to keep their burger shop afloat for the bank before they closed down in a matter of a week. While there is another story revolving the children in a crime scene regarding of this crumbled sidewalk which formed into a big hole, as there was some murder connecting to this. The first story is mostly like your typical Save the Rec Center story, while the crime twist on the children, it's like two stories all come together in one place. Like, as the stakes are higher for the Belchers to help save the restaurant and solve this mystery, as the story might be a bit predictable at times, it's the execution wise, as usual, that make up for this predictability. And that's one of the elements that I admire so far as a newcomer to the television series. And for the villain, I won't say for spoiler reasons. He's almost like your usual plot twist villain, which we get most of the time. It probably is for an episode. But everything else keeps going. Like, there's a couple of action sequences and musical numbers, which I'll get into later, that make the experience all the while enjoyable. So, while the story can have its flaws with a typical storyline, like most, it's its execution that would raise the stakes for the Belchers. When it comes to the animation, the animators really upped their game. It's like if they learn what software and technology they used that was available, like what they used for the theatrical release of The Simpsons about a decade and a half ago. And I gotta say, while it's slightly similar technique, I admire the new shading and lighting on the characters that give them more depth to the environments as well as the detailed backgrounds as they're compared to the television shows in terms of their flat colors. Best part about it is that it's done in Toon Boom Harmony, and I'd say it's a really good job. Oh, also, it's like it's quite rare we got a fully hand-drawn animated film, though digitalized, since the 2017 My Little Pony movie back about 5 years ago, which used the same software. And comparing this to this, it's really different. As well as the same character design to the show stays very true while adding some new layers too. Now, before we get into my thoughts on the characters, I'd like to take this moment to pay tribute to two animators who were involved in the making of this film that passed away about 2 years ago in the making. First is veteran Nickelodeon animator Tuck Tucker, who showed his contribution on Hey Arnold and SpongeBob SquarePants, and to veteran animator Dale L. Bear, who worked with some of the most important figures of animation like Ralph Bakshi, Richard Williams, and even the Walt Disney Company. We will miss them very much. Now, getting to the characters, we'll start off with the adults, starting with Bob and Linda. For the former, he is the worrying father that fears that he might not get the money he needs for the bank so he can keep his business running, while his wife Linda was the determined mother figure and also supportive with her children whenever they have a spot of bother. As for the children, including Jean, Louise, and Tina, the crime subplot was centered around Louise as he tries to learn to overcome fear and not be treated like a baby, like how she's referred to at school as the others teased her while having those pink bunny ear hat she has ever since. And it's like some sort of an overused character arc. It's really admirable to have a female character get through this. As for supporting characters like Calvin and Felix Fish Orders, played by Kevin Kline and Zach Galifianakis respectively, they're known as like the supporting characters who don't appear much in the film, as they're like the MacGuffins for the most part. And as for the villain, while he's like another weak twist villain, I don't have much to say about him, as he's just like the typical corporate figure who wants to tear down something in order to replace something modern for Coastal, as the Wonder Wharf is supposed to represent the heart of the Belchers area. Well, the characters struggle to reach their goals at the end in spite of a weak villain. They show good characteristics and charm that shows there's much more to them, like there was in the television show. Now, funny enough for this aspect, the Bob's Burger movies consist of songs. Like, it's like almost a long time since we had an adult anime feature film based on cartoon since the 1999 South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, where compared to their songs, Like, while the 1999 version had like raunchy songs with hard swears, these songs, including Sunny Side Up Sunday, Lucky Ducks, and Not That Evil, I find them quite tame and less profane, though there's a bit of innuendo hinted to those songs, but they do have a good beat up to them. And if I have a good chance to listen to them, I would have a better time enjoying those than the ones the South Park movie has. Overall, while the Bob's Burger movies might not be the best animated film of 2022 and probably not my favorite based on a cartoon, I say it's pretty enjoyable. Like how I find the Paw Patrol movie enjoyable as a newbie to that television show as well. While the story with a crime twist can be somewhat predictable with a weak twist villain as most anime films come and go, it's the execution along with the upgraded animation and solid characters and fun songs will make this enjoyable and hungry for more. So, I would definitely recommend this to give this a watch, but it might not be appropriate for the children since it's PG-13 rating, but if you're old enough, I would suggest you go and watch it. Even if you haven't watched the television show, you might need to watch it just in case to know the essentials of that source material. As for my rating, I give the Bob's Burgers movie a 7 out of 10 as it's a good film. So, now that I'm starting off my summer holiday with this film, I'm planning on having as much burgers as possible, but not too much to enjoy the summer, as this film is making me hungry to have one. I'll either get it from Burger King, Five Guys, In-N-Out, or maybe McDonald's or all that stuff, or Smash Burger or stuff. However, if you are vegetarians, then don't let me stop you. So, anyway, join me next time, and for the next anime film, we'll be going to infinity and beyond with Pixar's Lightyear.